and abdu wa rasuluh, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. We have some technical issues. We've been dealing with this now for the last few weeks. The company I had with the clear channel went out, and now we have to move different locations, and now we're just all over the place. Alhamdulillah, we are still here to bring the hard truth and put my kufi on straight, inshallah. So first and foremost, we want to say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to all of the Muslimin throughout the world who are tuning into our show tonight. And want to say peace and welcome to all of our non-Muslim listeners who have come in to listen, learn something, debate. Maybe you want to give some bad feedback. Alhamdulillah, welcome to the show. Everybody is welcome to our show. Over the past few days, we've been going through some things because, you know, people are mean, people are evil. And, you know, people like to attack other people for reasons I don't know why, but they do it. But alhamdulillah, Allah is in control of all things. We're not worried about that. Life goes on. This deen will go on, inshallah, whether it's with these people or without. With that being said, we want to talk about a couple issues today. And one of them being San Bernardino, California, the shooting, and the other one being Chiraq. So we're going to have a different format tonight, inshallah. And the format will be more so 1 hour we'll concentrate on one topic, and the next hour we'll concentrate on the next topic, inshallah. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get busy, inshallah. So we'll be right back in a few minutes, and inshallah, that is the hard truth. And I have to find, because we lost some of our other things as well. You know, I can pull it up here where you at. SubhanAllah. I'm going through today. I really apologize to our listeners today. But inshallah, we will get it together momentarily. I don't know why this page is like this. Okay, let's do it like that, inshallah. Here we go. And maybe it's not there. It should be there, but I don't see it there. We are missing some of our sponsors tonight. And I cannot get to them. And so that makes me feel like flushing something down the toilet. That would be well, since it's not on my board, Allah. So here we have in California, a man and his wife allegedly drops off their child to a relative's house, goes to an office party, and began to shoot up people and began to kill people. Just one moment, please, inshallah. My co-host has just arrived. You know, he likes to make grand entrances. So give us a second, inshallah. We like the people to understand something. Myself and Brother Ali, we do work. We do work, alhamdulillah, and sometimes we got a lot of things going on in our life. So, and you know, we just ask that you make dua for us.
A lot of dua.
A lot of dua.
Oh, subhanallah. This is my brother.
You she gave me a straw.
And straw. Wow.
I usually don't drink out of straws, but tonight, let me get you out of straw. So this couple when I heard the story, this is what I gathered. I gathered that this individual was at an office party, I guess a holiday office party, which really, as a Muslim, we shouldn't be. And they were teasing him about his beard, about his religion, so on and so forth. Now, so now, one second, y'all. I apologize. You're totally no. Okay. So, yeah, I guess. So now, he leaves this party and goes home, gets his woman, you know, they get their guns and everything, and they come back and they shoot up this party. Now, I never heard anything about the woman shooting up anything. Now, if the hard truth was to do something like that, it may allow to take him from doing something like that. I mean, and if I needed someone to take me and I had to tell my woman to take me, she's going to stay in the car. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? She's not going to get out the car. I'm not going to take her out the car. And if I got to handle some business, I'm going to handle the business. I'm going to say, baby, hold on, I'll be right back. That's kind of like the way the American people do it. I mean, maybe you got Bonnie and Clyde and whoever else there was back in the days who did stuff like that. But it doesn't sound right. And now they're saying that these people were Rush Limbaugh and Sean Hannity, these individuals, CNN and stuff. They were saying that this woman and this man was radicalized pre-ISIS. Now, I want to make a comment about that. Because I think you made the comment on the show before about this. ISIS. English acronym, right? Yes. Why in the world, and someone please help me out here, why in the world would an individual who speaks Arabic, Arabia, use English acronyms? That's the right word for acronyms? Why? If I'm Arab, why would I use an American I, an American S, an American I, an American S? It's just, it don't make sense. There aren't even, you know what, we're going to go ahead and sit down. That's a bunch of BS. Yeah. I mean, it is. Think about it. You're supposed to be this big, I don't want to say terrorist group, because I don't think they view themselves as terrorists. But you have this group of freedom fighters who are saying they are really against the West. They cannot stand America, right? That's what it said. But yet they will use this American terminology, English terminology, using the words of their so-called enemies. Stop the games, people. So anyway, so this family in San Bernardino, what's it, San Bernardino? I think it's Bernard.
Before they even knew who it was, they said, "Oh, a terrorist act," and then it became from a terrorist act to a disturbed young man. When they shot the boy, when that boy shot up children, he killed children in the school. He was disturbed. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to use Google to look up the word terrorism. The definition of terrorism is the use of violence and intimidation in the pursuit of political aims.
Say it one more time, please.
The use of violence and intimidation in the pursuit of political aims. So, let's see if they have anything more. Is there anything more? No, doesn't seem to be that. You see, there's no. Let me actually
look at the pictures.
Okay, hold on. Let me look at the definition. Let me see if there's any. Oh, the FBI has their own definition of terrorism.
Oh, let's see. By all means,
the Federal Bureau of Investigation's definition of terrorism is to involve in violent. Oh, let me see. 18 USC something 2331 defines international terrorism and domestic terrorism. So they had two types of terrorism for purposes of Chapter 11.3 of the B Code entitled terrorism. To involve in violent acts or acts dangerous to human life that violate federal or state law.
So why don't they call a spade a spade? And what I mean by that is, why when these other guys commit these crimes, why are they called terrorists? You know, I was watching CNN the other morning, and I couldn't believe my ears. The lawyer for the family of, what's his name? Abdul-Razak, is that his name? The guy
I haven't even been following. So
okay,
I'm just tired.
The guy, the lawyer for the family, he asked the lady on TV, he said, why is it when there's a Muslim involved, it's terrorism? He said, but why when Christians or Jews do anything? He said this on CNN. White guy said, why aren't they called terrorists? No one can answer the question. They had a press conference.
No, the answer to the question is simple, because it has nothing to do with the act itself. It has to do with an agenda that may be being pushed forward,
of course,
that has to do with something else other than that. Listen, I'm a Muslim. You're a Muslim. You're a carpenter. I do IT and make clothes. I'm not blowing myself up for a damn thing. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care who, what shape, with some long beard. And the problem is the same thing it's always been. The average person is ignorant of what Islam is. These things that these people are doing, let's set the record straight, because nobody's doing it. All these guys, all these Muslims are getting here talking on TV, and they're not saying what needs to be said. The acts that these people are doing,
like you said, ignorance. Ignorance is the problem. And when people are ignorant, you can tell them anything. You know, I can tell you, Ali, Sheikh such and such said, eating cold ice cream is haram. And people will say, I'm not touching cold ice cream no more.
yes.
You see what I'm saying? It will be ice cream.
No.
It will be ice cream. You see what I'm saying? So the problem is, people do not research for themselves. I respect it bothers me that everything out of somebody's mouth is Sheikh such says it, the ulama said it, as if you don't know nothing the Prophet said. And I'm not saying some issues we gotta revert back to those who know. Like
those who know.
A guy told me,
God is messenger.
A guy told me one time, a Muslim brother, a good friend of mine, he said that we cannot give dawah unless we are sanctioned by the ulama to give dawah. Well, I almost lost my cool.
What does that mean?
It means that you got to make sure you know you're saying the right thing to call people to Islam.
And first of all, dawah is not only a physical act out of your mouth; it's how you carry yourself, your character.
Exactly.
So it's begotten. The reality of it. I don't even watch the news anymore. It's depressing. It has become depressing. I mean, I'll turn it on every so often, but the reality of the situation is, I'm tired of. I'm a Muslim. People see me every day. People know me. Most people that dislike Islam don't even know what it is.
True that.
There are people, and no matter what religion, way of life, or I don't know what else can you say? Religion, way of life, or existence, anything. There are people in it that are good, bad, and indifferent. The religion of Islam in and of itself comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it is perfect. It is the perfect way human beings should live. But the only problem is they keep forgetting human beings aren't perfect.
Exactly.
So you can't vilify a way of life because some people, and we're not saying they're Muslims because we don't really know who these people are.
I got a report that it was 3 men dressed in all black.
That's what they said. That's what the guy said on the thing today. He said that he had his thing, I think, up to the TV, and it was like it's 3 men dressed in black, but the report changes. And the problem, is if that's the case, can we go back to the Crusades? Did they vilify Christianity because somebody decided that stacking human heads up into a mountain and leaving blood in the street up to the horses up to the knees of the horses was okay, and somehow we can explain that away?
The Bible speaks more about war than the Quran does.
I know.
It actually does. It even has the verse in the Bible where it says to sell your clothing and buy swords and knives. It's in the Bible. But the problem is people don't study what they say they believe.
No.
I tell you what, if most of the people out there who call themselves Christian actually studied Christianity and then went and read the Quran, Allah knows best, but I believe Allah will turn. I believe they embrace Islam. Because a lot of us did that. We actually said, we were Christian and we started reading the Bible and
I'm Philly. No. Exactly. So exactly the same thing they do is I've seen this picture of this guy. It's this screaming guy. I don't know. He looks maybe Pakistani or something. Mm-hmm. This guy's always screaming. He's everywhere. Mm-hmm. He was here when this happened. He was here when this happened. He was here when this happened. You cannot. Humanity has become this thing where they hate what they don't understand, and it's a shame to say that because to me, anybody that knows me, that knew me from the time I was a kid, knows that since I've become a Muslim, I'm far from perfect. But as a human being, as a human being, I have become. My mother cried because I have become such a better human being.
But can you say that one more time for all the Muslims out there to hear about being far from perfect?
Okay, when before I was a Muslim, I was a pretty bad person. I sold drugs, I did all these different things. But once I became a Muslim, even though I'm extremely far from perfect, it gives us a criteria to try to better ourselves. We have to begin with you. And this is the problem. You can't, if you have a country, your country's in turmoil, you have to go inside the cities and see what the problem with the cities is. Once you go inside the cities and the regions and see that there's problems there, then you go inside the little towns. Then after you go in the towns and you fix those problems, then you go inside the homes. So this is where we must begin with ourselves.
You know, and I'm glad you said that, because in our next hour, we're going to be talking about Chiraq. And what I wanted to bring to the forefront is we got these Muslims, we got these, our American government and these other governments, all up in these other countries. And here it is in our own soil. It's Iraq, it's Afghanistan, it's Russia, wherever, you know, it's happening here. And we're so busy trying to dictate somebody else's life, dictate what's going on over there, but we're not taking care of home.
Serious.
We're not taking care of home. So we're going to take a quick break. And I'm sorry, y'all, we only got one commercial for y'all tonight, so please enjoy.
I should please enjoy.
Do you need to install doors, replace the broken windows, or maybe add on to your home? Build a shed in your backyard, or build a dream home you always wanted? Look no further. Newton Associates Property Maintenance and Contracting will help make your dreams a reality. With pricing and quality work and honest looks. Newton Associates will be your first and final stop, inshallah. Give them a call at 770-504-5993 or email smithapmc@gmail.com. If you own multiple units, ask about our maintenance program. Located in the Atlanta area and servicing surrounding cities. Newton Associates Property Maintenance and Contracting. 770-504-5993. Got an idea? Give us a call.
Alhamdulillah. So Donald Trump is using this San Bernardino incident he wants to eradicate Islam. I mean, that's just what he's saying. He's saying that there should be no Muslims allowed in the country, as if there's not tons of Muslims here already. You'd be surprised. I work for a company, right? I would say 95% of the people's house I work on are Muslims from different countries. And I was Hindus and other people too, but mostly Muslims from other countries. And when you see these people's houses out here, subhanallah, subhanallah, listen,
they live in it up.
Are they?
They live in it up.
Their houses are immaculate. Not just the Muslim houses, but the non-Muslim houses also. So, and I ride through these neighborhoods, and
Counting all that stuff.
they have so it's like, who are you stopping? There's so many Muslims here already. So what's next? Concentration camps? I believe that's on the agenda. You know, tonight they had they were shooting a movie or something on our street here. And they had the big buses out here, the cameras and everything. And it took me back about
13 years.
13 years, 15 years now?
No, 14.
About 14 years? What year was that? 99?
I wasn't even.
I think it was 99.
It was 01, wasn't it?
2001. When did the World Trade Center happen?
01, I think. Yeah, it was
right before the World Trade Center. I remember when Imam Jamil Ali got locked up, and Allah preserve, you know what I mean? They had all these big buses out here, all these Winnebagos and all these camera crews and everything. So, and it was right here on our street, like on the same street Imam Jamil stayed on. I I didn't live over here at that time, but I stayed down the street. And they were on his street, right here on Eggleston, right there on Eggleston. And they had all these big buses and all these badges, you know, like camera people and like, you know, passes and stuff. And they had this, they was in this abandoned building around the corner. So I went bowling. Me and another brother took our wives bowling. A few hours later, we see the news.
Yeah.
Manhunt for Imam Jamil Alameen.
Wow.
Formerly known as H. Rap Brown. So we leave the bowling alley, we come back over here. The whole neighborhood is shut down.
Wow.
You cannot. You couldn't get on West End Place to save your life. And all that, they had SWAT teams all around the place. And they had it blocked off. There was no getting in and no getting out. If you lived here and you was in the house, you cannot leave your house.
Wow.
And so when I seen these people out here again, I said, man, I wonder if this is really what they're doing here, or are they trying to scope out the community again? Are they trying to see who's who, what's what is their plan? Because this is how they maneuver, this is how they roll. You know, and they have control, they have the money, they have the equipment to act like, because the guy said that they were shooting a Pastor Troy video.
Yeah. You know, it's a funny thing that I always told that when I became a Muslim and I stopped committing crime or whatever, I thought about something.
You think about, brother?
It was very, very funny. When you're dealing with these people, this is their job.
Oh yeah.
And you can be the best drug dealer, gun seller, whatever crime you're into, white collar crime. You can be the best at it. But guess what? There's one thing that you don't have that they have: unlimited resources. Unlimited resources. These people, if they want you, they'll get you. So quit. Give up. If you're committing crime, give up. But the thing is what these people are doing, whoever these people are, how come the story is never very clear? That's what I want to know. The story is never just crispy clear. It's always something that changed and somebody said something and then it turned into something else and we thought it was 3 people and then it became 2 people. I just don't know anymore what's really going on. I'm confused, and I think they're confusing. I think I'm not the only one that's confused.
I'm gonna tell you.
It's not ridiculous, man.
It's one. Okay, this is funny. I posted it on Facebook.
Yeah.
It was a picture of Indian, and the picture said he's an old Indian, traditional Indian. And
we don't even know who he is anymore.
Yeah. And so he said, on the picture, it said, talk show no more.
No, I didn't know you were talking about recently.
This happened today. And so the lady said, we got to protect our country. And I'm sitting there thinking, this is not even your country.
And nobody's coming in.
This is the same thing you people did. You came in, you killed the Indians and Mexicans, and then you bought the black people over here to build it, and now it's your country. It never was your country. This land doesn't belong to anyone except Allah. It don't belong to me. It don't belong to you, because when you die, guess what?
You're going
to be in the same ground that you claiming you own. The ground is going to own you then. SubhanAllah. So anyway, it amazes me when I hear people talk about my country, my country. You don't have a country. You ain't never had a country. This country was built on thievery.
No. But you know what we can't do? You know what has to be said though?
What's that?
Has to be said is this. Is the fact that regardless of what Islam teaches us this. Regardless of what someone else does is wrong, it does not justify you doing something wrong back. So just because the way the country was built or founded or whatever, it doesn't justify people coming and trying to harm people or doing anything like that to any human being, first of all. You fight in defense of yourself, in defense of your family, in defense of your property, and things like this. I don't know, but see, you know what they keep forgetting? Like, remember that the last time we had this, I said that our hearts are hardened to violence. We see violence so much that this is how people solve their problems. People, even when people solve their problems by having a discussion about something, it usually ends up in a heated argument. Instead of like me and you saying, well, brother, I think that your point that you were trying to make was this. Maybe, you know, you could look at it this way. It never ends up like that. It's always someone yelling. Like, it's so much aggression because people lack the peace that Islam gives them, the peace that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives them. And listen, I don't hate anybody. I don't hate anybody. Only thing I hate is what Allah says to hate. And what Allah says, Allah has never told us to hate human beings. He says hate what they do, not who they are.
That's right. Because
my mother is not a Muslim. I don't hate my mother.
Exactly.
I love my mother. I wish she would become a Muslim and stop doing whatever the thing she's doing. And Mom, if you hear that, you know, I did give you a prayer. You might need to read that thing. But we don't, even a Muslim, even if a Muslim is committing a heinous sin, I don't hate him. I hate what he does. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because everything is a creation of Allah. This is what people are forgetting.
And another thing is, you have people who were enemies, and they became Muslims. And like Allah said, He said, y'all. Allah said in the Quran, He said, y'all were enemies, but Allah made you brother. People don't understand this Islamic faith. This Islam, this faith in Islam is no joke. It's serious. It's thicker than blood. Way thicker than blood.
Exactly.
And people understand that.
People don't understand.
It's real thicker than blood.
You know, because I love my brothers, man. You know, and we try to correct each other when we can, on the things that we can. We all have issues. We far from perfect. First of all, number one thing is what people fail to realize is something I've learned of recent that I thought was I had this whole, what they call the new Muslim, I don't even know what they call it, fantasy land. Like, you become a Muslim and all Muslims are walking around, floating around, giving away money, being nice people. That's not the case. And Pakistan, if you're growing up in Pakistan, the issues that you may have there are different than you being a Muslim in Bangladesh or you being a Muslim in America. We have our own set of issues. You know, we don't tend to do the type of things that these people are doing, but we tend to have maybe, you know, family problems or something like that. Mm-hmm. But the bottom line is everybody has their problems, and people need to stop assuming.
Which causes a problem. Because now you're making me out to be who you want me to be.
Yeah. And
therefore I become that. You understand what I'm saying?
My mom told me anything you can make 3 people believe becomes the truth. I never forgot that.
That's what one of the
so Muhammad
no, I said one of the people from the past of America, I'm just horrible with names tonight, I apologize. Mm-hmm. He said, if you keep telling people a lie long enough, they'll believe it.
Yeah.
Who was the biggest lie people told?
That they landed on the moon.
No, that was one of them. Who was one bigger than that?
Jesus is white.
Jesus is white. Everybody, you better not tell some old black folks Jesus is white. Or you get cussed out.
People still think Jesus
is white. Yeah. There's a guy who was suing the Catholic or the government, so somebody. I'm so sorry tonight, y'all. I apologize. I'm trying to put it together, but it's not coming together. Black guy is suing either a church or some type of government
Mm-hmm.
because he said that it is a violation of his rights that they keep putting a white Jesus in the pictures and the statues and everything like that when he was not from a place where white people were at, nor was he described in the Bible as being white. But of course, no lawyer would accept
Take
take the case. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds a little frivolous.
Yeah.
And we have much more
bigger things to
bigger
do.
things to do.
And you know, I'm going to say this to the Facebook community. Facebook has become depressing.
Yo, I don't even want like that.
I'm gonna tell you why.
It's crazy.
When it comes to real issues, only the same 5% of people talk about and deal with. Look at our show. If I was to get on here and talk about marriage and polygyny and this, lines would be blown up right now.
Yeah.
When we talk about serious issues, it's real quiet. And the reason why is because they don't want to talk about this stuff. They're afraid of those things. Wow. What the heck just happened?
I don't know. It must be tapping my room.
So my point is, we have to wake up. You know, your moms tell us, she said, never let no one take you more serious than you take yourself. And a lot of times, these people take us more serious than we take ourselves. They look at us as a threat. They look at us as dangerous. They look at us as someone that can bring harm or hurt something or something like that. You know
who I'm most dangerous to? Myself.
Yeah, man, big time.
Because one day I'm gonna have to meet my Lord with all the sins that I've done, with all the iniquities that I've done, with all the disobedience that I've done. I'm gonna have to meet him and face that. There's nothing that no human being can do to me that is going to, because all those human beings that could do whatever they want to do to you or whatever they gotta stand just like I gotta stand. You know, this whole issue. I mean, can we replay this back in our minds again? Let's go back. What year is this? 20 what?
It is 2001-5.
2001-5. When I was a kid, and I used to watch TV, and I would watch, it was a long time ago, and I would watch TV. You know what? It was the Russians. Every movie where they had bad guys, it was Russians. Even they even stretched it out to Rocky 5.
Hold on.
With Drago.
Because after the Russians, then who was it?
It was the Muslims.
No.
Yeah, who was that? The Russians?
The Vietnamese. Remember?
No.
Oh, that was first.
That was first. The Vietnamese.
No, it was the Russians and the Vietnamese.
The Russians was was in the Cold War, was still in the 80s, bro.
Okay, so it was both of them.
Because the 70s was the Vietnamese. They didn't get into that too much, but that was
the rest of the long movie.
When they,
Blood,
when they went to go back.
Rambo.
Yeah, what's the name? Went to go back. Chuck
Norris went back. Yeah.
But I'm talking about on the general. There were a few here and there, but generally, the consensus was that it was the Russians because they were trying to stop the spread. Islam is a way of life, and the problem that people are facing is the fact that the average person doesn't know. The average person gets their knowledge from a box, a tube that puts out what they wanted to put out. You know, if you see me today, not for nothing, but I was coming out of the gas station. You know, people in our neighborhoods, they ask us Muslims for money faster than they ask anybody else. Do you want to know why they do that? Because we give it to them. Because that's part of Islam. Part of Islam is to be charitable. And part of Islam is also, it's incumbent upon us, if someone asks you for something, that you give it. So but guess what that also does? That also builds humility because we don't want to ask.
See, the problem is, a lot of people be asking, and then they get the
like, yeah, this is gonna look off into the distance.
Yes, but And I promise you, and this goes for the Muslims, when you give, Allah will return it. I've seen it so many times. I've seen it so many times. Allah will return it. He will return it. You know, I hope that this thing in San Bernardino, you know, Allah will remove the veil off of it, and it becomes an actual dawah for people to go around, you know, not the action that took place, but something that will make people really look into Islam. I know a lot of people are becoming Muslim because all these things are happening. And I'm sorry, I believe a lot of things are staged. I believe a lot of things are staged, and I believe that because they're staged, you know, they're trying to make people hate Islam, but a lot of people are learning about Islam.
One thing that's funny to me is those people that do those things, I hate them just as much as they hate them. Because that it has nothing to do with Islam.
And we like that the dawah is given correctly.
That is given correctly, not correctly. And the thing is if we're bringing, that's like if we're supposed to be telling people about Islam, and that's all they know is some pictures that they see on CNN or ABC about this is what Islam is, this is what it is, then we have to speak out and say, listen, hey, look, wait a minute. That's not what it is. My teacher told me something. I never forgot it, man. My teacher one day, he was like, these people that are doing whatever they're doing, he said the Muslims in the world should be the first people to be hunting these people down and bringing them to justice. Whoever these groups or whatever they are is. And I believe in that. You know? This has become a scourge and an epidemic on our society that everybody views Muslims as being something that Muslims are not. And on top of that, the Muslims aren't speaking out. I'm sorry, I apologize. People are ashamed. And if you notice, when they first came out with it, they came out with these guys that had on turbans with big beards up in the mountains. Then it was guys with not so big beards in the desert. Then it was guys from different countries doing this. This is what they're saying. Then there was guys from regular guys from here and there. Now it's all the way down to who the people said were moderate Muslims, however you want to put it. It seems like they're trying to make it out like no matter what type of Muslim you are, you're terrible and you're a walking time bomb. This is not a true fact. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will expose these people, and he will, you know, continue to call people to Islam like he has always done. But us as Muslims, how do we handle these situations? How do we handle these situations? Because the reality of the situation is, I'm trying to think of an incident someone doing something like these things that have been happening. One incident. One time.
Let me think about it.
I'm trying to think about it. I'm saying maybe there was a time I couldn't think of one.
Well, because the Muslims were on their deen. You know, there was fitna.
Yeah, but I'm talking about with this kind of stuff that's happening. Like, okay, we're just gonna go do some ridiculousness. Yeah, because I don't even want to say it. Because I don't even. You know why I don't say it? Because I don't know who should.
No.
I know that with the news reports, I know what this people says and that what people says, but Allah knows best.
No, Allah knows best. And inshallah, we're going to take a quick break, inshallah, and we're going to get on Chiraq. A lot of people don't know what Chiraq is.
We're about to tell you.
Today, you're about to learn. And that's the hard truth.
That's the hard truth.
Be right back.
When you need to install the doors, replace the broken windows, or maybe add on to your home, build a shed in the backyard, or build a dream home you always wanted, look no further. Lincoln Associates Property Maintenance and Contracting will help make your dreams a reality. With pricing, quality goods, and hours welcome. Lincoln Associates will be your first and final stop. Stop along. Give them a call at 770-504-5993 or email smithapnc@gmail.com. If you own multiple units, ask about our residence program. Located in the Atlanta area and services surrounding cities. Lincoln Associates Property Maintenance and Contracting. 770-504-5993. Got an idea? Give us a call.
Alhamdulillah. Now, I have family members in Chicago who actually still gangbang. And some of my family members are older. And I was talking to one of my cousins the other day, and we were talking about this whole Chiraq thing.
You have to explain to them what that means.
Well, I'm gonna let you do that in a minute.
Okay.
Because he lives in Chicago. He's a shot caller.
Okay.
He's an OG. And he don't know too much about it himself.
Wow.
He said, because it's a bunch of kids who have no respect for anything. He said, even to the point where they try to move out the older people. I remember you was telling me something about the 18-year-old thing, and you know, you're over 18. So he talked about that a little bit. So inshallah, Ali, the floor is yours, brother.
Well, this happened about this whole Chiraq thing started for me about 2.5 weeks ago. I don't know.
We're not talking about the Spike Lee movie.
No, nothing.
Let's clarify that. We're not talking about the Spike
I
Lee
had
movie.
nothing to do with Spike Lee movie, which is garbage, by the way. Anyway, sorry, Spike. Spike's always trying to do something and make it into something else. Don't waste your money. Anyway,
Spike, do the right thing.
You really do the right thing. The reality is, a couple of weeks ago, I was looking for a video or something like that on something, and I happened to come across this thing that says Chiraq. I said, what is Chiraq? Chiraq is Chicago, Illinois. They call it Chiraq because, and I believe it was 2012, in the conflict or war in Iraq, 314 people died. In the city of Chicago, 509 people were killed by gunshots. So more people died in a supposedly non-war zone than did in an open war zone. So I got interested. I said, that's amazing. So I started to look up what it's about. I was born in Philadelphia. I lived in New York City. I lived in Baltimore. I lived in DC. I've been all up and down the East Coast, been in Miami. I've been in some hoods. I've been in Brooklyn. I've been first of all, groups and cliques from around the way. But if you look on YouTube and you Google the war in Iraq, there's a guy who goes around doing these little reports. These guys are videotaping themselves doing drive-bys. They're having shootout meetings where they actually say, hey, we're going to meet at the West End Park at such and such a time. We're going to shoot out with you, like this. They've made up this, they've got this music now. You probably heard of it. What's the boy's name? Chief Keef.
Chief Keef.
Chief Keef is one of, he's probably, they're him and Little Dirk. He's got
Savages,
they call themselves Savages. That's what they call themselves, Savages. The music is called drill music. The only thing that I noticed between drill music, it's a lot of battle music, like they battling this group, battling this group, and this group and battling this group. I did my research. They had 27 beefs that I counted.
27?
No, there's many more. I'm saying the ones that I've counted, 27 beefs where within 2 days of the person being dissed on the album, somebody was dead.
Wow.
One of the 2 people was dead.
That takes me back to the hadith of the Prophet, where he said that there comes a time when not know why he's been killed, and a man will be killed, not know why he's been killed. And
they can't even explain.
He said one of the signs of the last days is al-harj, killing.
The killing.
Yes.
They can't even, the people don't even know why they're killing. They call each other ops, opposition, opponents.
Oh yeah?
Listen, the gun ownership per capita is largest in Chicago. Now we're not talking about legal guns. You can go somewhere in Illinois and buy 20 handguns and walk out the store. They have these kind of laws and things. But what I think what happened is Chicago's always been rough place to live, right?
Yeah.
But I remember when I heard of Chicago, I thought of when I think about Chicago, I think of one thing.
What's that?
Cabrini Green. That's the only thing I know about Chicago. Candyman, Cabrini Green.
Actually, I went to school with a guy from Cabrini Green.
Now check this out. Early 2000s, Chicago decides that they're gonna destroy all the projects in the city. It's a good thing?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, it's a good thing. But now what you've done is maybe in Cabrini Green you had gangster disciples. They pretty much, they do their thing. They fight amongst each other, whatever like that. But now you have 700, 800,000 teenagers who were living in pockets where they were safe because they were in a certain gang, and you spread them throughout the city.
But that's not what usually happens.
But that's what happened.
Well, let me explain to you something. This is happening all across America.
Not on this level.
No, I'm talking about what I'm about to tell you.
Yeah, okay.
What they're doing, they're going into the inner city neighborhoods, and they're refurbishing them and revamping them. And
gentrification.
Yes. Now, what they're doing with the project, like remember Harris? No, you weren't here when Harris Holmes was here.
I've heard of it.
Okay, Harris Holmes was right over there. We had over there. We had on Martin Luther King. We had Carver. We had all kind of little projects. Matter of fact, they tore down Thomasville, which was right over by the penitentiary. What they're doing though, they're moving the so-called out of the inner city. They're trying to push as many in Georgia. You can't really do it because everybody's pretty much black. I forget the name she called it.
This is one of the weirdest cities I've ever seen, where they'll have like slum blocks, like 2, and like 1 block over would be like some nice areas.
Exactly.
Never seen that.
And so what they're doing is they are moving the trouble out to bring the people in, because everyone knows every city, the commute is horrible. Commute is horrible. When I'm coming down Georgia 400 at 7 o'clock and I'm stuck in traffic.
See, but the funny thing is, make up your mind. 20 years ago, everybody that had a little money wanted to go out in the suburbs and live the suburban life. Let's go live out there with the big lawns. Now gas is high, or whatever the reason may be, they want to be coming back. But this, what you're saying is different though. It's a little different because in a place like Atlanta, Chicago has an ingrained from day one born gang culture. This dude was talking about that they were 8, 9 years old and they were already in gangs.
They were born into gangs.
So they were born into gangs. You lived in this neighborhood. You were what is it, 300, whatever these guys be saying, or whatever like this. This was a fact that totally amazing. Over the July 4th weekend in the city of Chicago, there were 92 shootings, or it was either 84 or 92, and 14 deaths. On Easter Sunday, 45 people were shot in the city of Chicago.
On Easter?
Easter Sunday, I can pull it up. Easter Sunday, when people was, doing their best, dressing their best. 45 people were shot.
They were casket sharp.
Literally
sharp.
So one of the biggest proponents of this is this guy Chief Keef.
Mm-hmm.
He comes from this place called O Block. You see, I'm pretty much well versed now. It didn't take me that long to find out what's going on.
O Block.
O Block, yeah. They call it O Block because some guy with the name, I forget, O'Shea or OK, whatever. He got killed on that block, so they call it O Block. Very dangerous place. But these kids don't expect to live past 18. Like when you see them, the way they do this music, this drill music is real. Like, how many rap battles we know? How many people battles, from cats on top, Biggie and Jay-Z, and I've never heard of anybody getting killed. I've never heard of anyone getting killed. These people are getting killed the next day. I diss you, tomorrow I'm dead. Like this music for them has become a reality. And my understanding of it is the fact that what is Chicago doing about it? Farrakhan, you there?
Man, this one lady on Facebook let Farrakhan have it.
What you doing?
Because the boy that got shot by the police.
Yeah.
And that's something else I did want to bring up because now my blood's starting to boil up because I don't understand this.
But
black people, y'all stupid.
Wow.
And I'm saying this in a manner of it's in a general statement for those people who are on the streets. I don't like quoting rappers and stuff, right? Mm-hmm. But we know about the things they said, right? Pac said something a while back. He said there's more niggas than there's police. Yeah. It amazes me that in like Chicago, where this white cop shot this boy, he's been charged with murder now. He's been charged with murder, mashallah. Why are y'all pointing the guns at each other? Now, I'm not inciting you to go out there and kill no cops. The hard truth is not telling you to do that. That's not what the hard truth is telling you to do.
Please make that clear.
But what I am saying, you got enough balls and guts to shoot this other young man in the street, but you scared to shoot this man because he got a gun. And he got a badge, he got a uniform on. It don't make sense to me. But here it is, another black guy out there, he has a gun, but I'll bang out with him.
Self-hatred.
It's mind control. Look at the penitentiaries. A penitentiary. People.
Well, when you have, like you said, when there was one interesting case of this girl named Gakira Barnes. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of her. I don't know if that's how you actually pronounce her name. But she used to have a Twitter account. She was called Taekwon Assassin. She was 17 years old. She killed her first person at 14 in retaliation for someone killing one of her friends or something like that. And then she killed. I know they counted her for having 2 murders under her belt. And she was a 17-year-old girl, graduated from school and everything. And she has pictures on Facebook or wherever, Twitter, of her holding every kind of daggone pussy I've ever seen in my life.
Mm-hmm.
But this shows that this is something else. This is a movement I've never seen before. There's reckless killing. There's always been gangs killing each other, but never on a day. Even with the Bloods and Crips, it wasn't at the level that Chicago's doing.
I mean, it's going to see what people get worse.
I mean, it can get worse than that.
Yes, because the Prophet said it was going to get worse. See, people, you gotta study your religion. You gotta study what you say you believe. It's a book by Ibn Kathir called Signs of the Day of Judgment. Mm-hmm. The book is only this thin. Powerful. It's so much stuff in this book that you see it now every day. The Prophet talked about this 1400 some years ago, bro. And we're seeing it. Not only the killings, but what about the women being naked even though they're clothed? What about the women seen in front of men? What about the people committing lewd acts in public? You know, these things are relevant now.
Do you know that more Americans have been killed in Chicago in the last 15 years than have died in Iraq and Afghanistan combined?
I can believe it.
Yo.
But they don't want to tell you about that. So what they do, they want you to keep focusing on. They don't. It's like saying, don't look at our problems, just look at everybody else.
You know, somebody said that this week. I had a class this weekend. A brother taught a really nice class, and he said we are trying to save the rest of the world, but we're not trying to save our own selves. And we so worried about what's happening in Palestine. Oh, you know, these people over here is terrible, France, and this happening. Yo, people are getting killed right here. People are starving right here. People are homeless right here. And my problem is this. My truly, and this is with myself and the rest of us as Muslims. We setting a damn bad example. That's the bottom line. From what I understand, that the type of example that we're supposed to be setting for, because we are the word I always get wrong in the English translation of the Quran. I always say vicegerent, and everybody always tell me that it's vice regent. I don't know why I say vicegerent. It is?
Yes.
Oh, see,
that's what I always know it to be, vicegerent.
Well, okay, we're gonna go with that because that's what I always been saying. Everybody tells me I'm wrong. Vicegerent, vice regent doesn't matter.
What is a vice regent?
A vice regent is like someone who comes and shows to people how to do something, who's an overseer, basically. I don't know. Well, but the bottom line is we're supposed to be the example for humanity. So the way we act and how we carry ourselves and how we do things, the people are supposed to look at that and say, many people have become Muslims because they say, look how those people are. Those people are good people. They're honest in business. The business trade of the Muslim
I have a routine. Work, home, masjid. That's my routine.
Yeah, I know.
I barely step out of that. I might go play some basketball with my kids and stuff, my boys, you know, we go to the court, might work out, you know, go to martial arts and stuff like that.
Even those things.
Outside of that,
we rarely take out time for a law something like that.
you do, you're right.
I mean, the amount we used to study, we had the same jobs. They have harder jobs, and if they had what we had, we didn't make the time. And we need to really, really focus on the time, because the topic of both of these conversations boils down to this. Islam is what helps the world. Islam is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent through the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to. These things wouldn't be happening. You know, this kid from Chicago named Rondo number 9 is on Instagram with a freaking rocket launcher. It's funny, but it was real. I saw the picture. You know what? I mean, where does a kid 15 years old get something like that? I don't want to know. I mean, but maybe remember we were talking the other day about the Slauson, remember? We was talking about, like, I watched this
first game in LA.
We saw the first game in LA. We were just like, yo, this whole gang thing was always interesting to me, because I couldn't understand how a bunch of people is fighting over something
they don't own.
And they don't, they first of all, not even that they don't own, they got started in 1940 something. It's 1999. Why are you fighting?
Because you have to understand.
It perpetuates itself.
But you have to understand where it came from. See, if people kept, like, let's talk about the Slausons for a minute. Why did Slauson get created?
Because one of the guys said that he went to wanted to be a Cub Scout. So he went to the Cub Scout place with his mother, and they said, well, we don't want to let you in because you're black, basically, and some of the other parents might not really like you around their children. That was basically what it was.
So they decided to come up with their own little group, their own little Cub Scouts, and which became known as the Slausons. Now, a lot of gangs started, especially in Chicago, where if you look at Jeff Ford and you look at Hoover and all these guys, their thing was neighborhood.
Yeah, they did a lot.
They did a lot for. They fed people.
Yeah, they had school. You know, I was researching. They had like technical schools for guys to learn how to, like, be carpenters.
They had all that.
It wasn't.
And so what people understand is, if these young guys understood, I can respect a gang if a gang did what them guys did.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Because I don't think they gave it the name of gang.
Where Miss Johnson can walk down the street
and know that to worry about
bother her because,
or they carry Miss Johnson groceries upstairs.
Exactly. Or
there's some of the homeless kids, some of the, they done got up enough money to get a little house and teaching them trades. That's what it seems like things started from, especially in Chicago.
Well, that's where
they was really about their business, about really trying to help the community.
It was helping the community. You know what? It wasn't
a black person we know is subjugated, because I found out something that I never knew. You know, everybody else had a tribe or they were from a place or whatever this. We're the only people that they call black. We're the only people that are of color. You were either Slovak, you were Indonesian, you were whatever. We're just black. I mean, no, really, that's the first time in history that's ever been done. And when you take a people like that and you take, because slavery destroys people. I know we're not going all back, but we have to remember the root of things. If you don't know what the root of something is, you can't solve the problem. I fix computers for a living. It's one of the things I do. If the screen doesn't work, the other day I was fixing somebody something, and I was like, they were like, well, this doesn't work. Did you turn it on? Oh yeah, there you go. You know, you start with the simple things. It happens a lot. That's when you talk. No, actually, when you talk IT, that's one of the first things you do. Check the simple things first. People say my monitor doesn't work. Check and see if it's on. Is it plugged in? You check the simple things before you start going into the more complex things. Because a lot of times things are simple problems. But that's one of the things. We as a people have no identity, and we have no sense of who we are. These things have been taken from us. So we're trying to identify with something, but we're trying to identify with the wrong things. I don't need to know at this point in my life. I don't need to know what tribe our ancestors were from in Africa. It'd be nice to know. It'd be nice to know.
I mean, I'm gonna tell you like this. This my uncle told me a long time ago. He said the good thing about the slavery for the Muslims is that we were stripped of everything.
That is very
so now all we got to do is practice pure Islam.
Yeah, we don't
because
have
a lot of people mix their culture and mix their where they come from in with Islam. But now we can have straight pure Islam.
But we have one problem with that.
What's that?
We're Americans, so we have an American paradigm on how things are. So we view Islam through American eyes. Like, you know, okay, for a lot of Americans, it's about how you dress. For a lot of American Muslims, you look like a Muslim, you talk like a Muslim, you know a couple words of Arabic, you know how to say assalamu, you know, whatever it is, and you know a couple of hadith and this and that and other. It's really, really surface. For some, it's deep, but a lot of it is surface, because when we really look at it, what Islam is supposed to improve, wherever it is, it's supposed to improve. Muslims, as many Muslims have come to this country, and as many Muslims are in this country, we should have improved something. We should have improved something, even if it is what Imam Jamil, I guess, was trying to do in this neighborhood, was trying to improve the neighborhood. There should be old people who feel safe because the Muslims are out. There should be people who say, you know what, let me call on that I need some logs moved, and I don't have any money. How's that gonna happen? Oh, I know who would do that for me. These Muslims. Oh, whatever the situation may be.
Not in the term of servitude.
Servitude.
In the term of being good neighbors.
Just being good individuals. We don't. Let me
ask you a question. What? We won't get too far on the subject, right? There we go.
Multiple units asked about our residence program, located in the Atlanta area and servicing surrounding cities. Smith and Associates Property Maintenance and Contracting, 770-504-5993. Have an idea? Give us a call.
Okay, so alhamdulillah, tell me about the impact that this Chiraq is having on the rest of society now. You know, the rest of the kids. It's a YouTube thing now, right?
Well, let me tell you what's really going on.
And you know the guy got an Interscope deal?
Yeah.
He got a deal from this.
Yeah. What?
And
These guys are getting
he got to tell us about how they get arrested at their photo shoots.
Yeah, okay, check this out. See, everybody that's from up north, most of the people that's from up north, we know about, like, you know, oh, such and such battle, such and such Jada and 50. Oh, when I see you at this concert, this is gonna happen. Be a couple scuffles and stuff like this, but you don't find out that Jada Kiss got his head blown off the next day. It doesn't happen. I don't ever remember any rappers really that I know of that died like that.
I think there was.
It might be one or two.
Yeah, I think there was a couple.
These dudes, like every day.
Because then MC Shan, he's like doing life, man.
Yeah.
Somebody at a concert or something.
Yeah, but that's a little different. It's like you got Lil Durk versus Lil Scrappy. Scrappy say something to Durk. Durk get this dude head blown off the next day, and it's real. And they call it drill music. Now Illinois is called Drillinois now. What the problem is the videos are all like you only see two things in videos. They've gotten rid of the video girls. The video girls are no longer in the videos. That's gone. That was the 90s. Now all they showing is big guns and drugs. A lot of promethazine these guys are drinking too. Terrible. Promethazine. You don't know what prometh is?
Is it meth?
No, promethazine.
No.
Codeine, promethazine chloride, I think it's called. It's lean. Something called lean.
Lean.
It's like cough syrup. You know, it makes you lean back. It's cough syrup at a high level. What it is it's for people who've gotten like spinal injuries and stuff like that. But anyway, what's happening now is that this music is catching on. Because I kept hearing this name Chief Keef all over the place. And so I was interested in who is this new phenomenon? I'm looking at this guy and I really can't even couldn't beat himself out of a wet paper bag with iron gloves on if two strong men were ripping it from the outside.
Well, he did come back and say he's just making music. He's not really about his life.
But he's making that music because that's the music that they are listening to. But the problem is that this, for all Muslims who like music, you know, I just listen to a little Barry White. I just a little Young Jeezy.
A little Luther.
A little Luther.
The old Luther.
The old Luther.
The old Luther.
Listen, this is part of the reason why we as Muslims shouldn't listen to music. This stuff has such an effect on these kids. Look at the videos. They're basically in the trance, going back and forth with pistols in their hands.
It affected us.
It affected us.
Think about when we were young, the music, the NWA, and I was from the East Coast, so you like the best of them, but it affected us.
When Mob Deep Right Back At You came on,
exactly.
You better not come around here because we thinking, we thought it gave us heart. It gave us heart. Even though it was already wild, it just intensified that. We memorized those songs, we memorized it, we thought about them in our brain, and it became part of our life.
Yep.
So what's happening now is people are making Chicago is becoming like a diaspora for the rest of the country in terms of now everybody wants to make drill music. Nobody wants to be left behind. Because let me tell you a little trick that they pulled on us. Late 80s. Name 3 bands from the late 80s.
3 bands?
3 groups.
From the late 80s?
Hip hop, though.
Oh, hip hop?
I hope you don't get them wrong.
For the late 80s?
Late 80s, hip hop. Come on, man. You remember it?
Late 80s.
I'm bobbing my head.
Say Houdini?
Nah.
I don't know.
Let's go. Brand Nubian. Remember that?
Oh, yeah,
Brand Nubian.
Oh, X-Clan.
X-Clan. Poor Righteous Teachers.
Okay, I see what you did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Talib Kweli was out. Like, they was a little later. But those kind of groups.
Positive music don't last that long.
But check it out. Right during that era, there was violence, but not as much because most of us was wearing backpacks. We was trying to battle. We was trying to get it in.
Mm-hmm.
What's the next music that dropped?
Gangster rap.
No, not gangster rap. The next song that dropped, there's no gap. After Police was the next thing that came out. That song was the next song that dropped.
Ice-T's
No.
Ice-T
NWA. And we was like, what they talking about? But what did it cause? It caused the boys from the East Coast to say, yo, them dudes down there getting it in. We ain't suckers. Mm-hmm. Now, and in the early 90s, everybody's a tough guy. In New York and Philly, everybody's a tough guy. Now we've gotten to the level where rap battles are actually ending in people's deaths.
New York and Philly is all tough guys.
Yeah, we always said that's right. But they was tough guys with
I didn't think it could get worse. But now, looking at these guys,
did you watch any of it?
Yeah, I watched the whole thing.
Rondo number 9 and all. Man, this dude is crazy.
But the thing is, there's a lot of guys first and foremost. There's a lot of guys because they don't understand that they are causing destruction to themselves and to their communities and everything else. They don't understand that. I want to hear from some of these callers tonight. I want to know what is, from what we've been talking about tonight, that's either somebody calling for a block number or, I don't know, sometimes it happened. I remember I had my wife called in and was on once. And I don't know why it does that. Mm-hmm. But we'd like to hear from our callers, inshallah. What was your take on the Chiraq and the San Bernardinos and whatever else is going on in the world? There's so much going on in the world right now. It's like you can just pick any topic. There's so much stuff going on. So many things happening. So many people dying.
This is a problem.
It's a major problem.
Remember the 80s, remember 85, 86 when crack hit? Probably you in Cleveland, so it probably didn't really get to that. Columbus, so it probably I know it was there, but 87, 88 is when it really got. 85, it was in New York, it was coming through. But then it took a year or two. Yeah, no, started LA. But when it hit New York, it was in 85. So it took everybody else maybe about 6 months to a year because they was moving around.
It spread like wow.
Oh my gosh, I thought that was bad, but I
I
mean,
wonder what Rick Ross think right now.
well, Rick Ross, he be talking and
I'm
stuff
talking about
about.
the rapper. I'm talking about the actual guy.
No, I know. He be doing a lot of talks and stuff now.
I wonder how he feels, knowing that he has helped support the killing of thousands and thousands.
He said that he was a pawn.
But he knows that. Everybody knows that. He was a pawn. He was Ronald Reagan's Mitch.
He was Mitch. Yeah, that's not. You got me on something.
You know what Mitch is?
Nah, I don't know.
He was Ronald Reagan's Mitch. I hate to say it, but that's what he was.
I'm kind of getting what a Mitch is now. I know what you're saying. It's terrible. That's really terrible.
Blah, blah, blah. But he was.
He
was his male.
Yeah, I know.
You know, so. And this stuff is systematically done. And like you said, they're not going to push nothing positive to the front. It's always going to be the haram. It's all haram, but they're going to push the negative to the front. They're going to push the nudity, the violence, whatever, you know. It's funny.
Like that.
Let me give you an example. Now, we talk about older men and younger girls, right? Things like that. And people look down and frown on it, right? Okay. But you will see on TV or something how an older man fantasizes about the plaid dress, the Catholic girl things. You see what I'm saying?
That's cool.
And see what happens is it's an irony, you know, like it's a contradiction. They feed you the negative. They feed you the things that are bad. And then when you do it, like a shooting on TV in the movie, so I'm like, oh yeah, he got that was cool. But in real life, it's not cool. You see what I'm saying? But they'll feed it to you. The rappers will rap on the microphone and they say, yeah, I killed this dude and this whole crew, you know, and the people who listen say, I'm gonna go kill this dude and this whole crew. But he never think of the consequences of it. He never think that he might not make it out of there alive.
And you know what you have to remember, something that's very, very important is think about the move from Mecca to Medina. When you had the Muslims in Mecca, even though there were few, they were surrounded by all of that iniquity, all of that haram. They were surrounded by all that type of horribleness. Those kids, wherever they are, no matter where they are, they're surrounded by that.
It's a gangbanging neighborhood. And
They thought they was with whoever.
Exactly.
I remember a kid said, yo, he said, I can't even, he said, to go to school, he was like, that block is these people. That block is these people. This block is people. I got to go. He had to go like so far outside of where he lived at to go to school.
That's horrible. That's horrible. That's sad. Inshallah, we want to remind the people that the Hard Truth airs every Thursday night at 9 o'clock. Sometimes we be having some technical difficulties. Yes. Sometimes we work, we can't do the show. We're trying our best to be here to do the show. Sometimes we're extremely tired, but we still make it our effort to bring the hard truth to the people. So remember, the Hard Truth comes on every Thursday night at 9 o'clock, inshallah. And if you want to hear about something, or if you want to request something, or talk about something, you can go on our Facebook page or Muhammad Hard Truth Smith or Sadat Musa King and type in what you want us to talk about. Also, you can go to Islamic Island Radio at gmail.com and inbox us. If it's something you want to advertise on our show, maybe you're having a gathering, or maybe you're doing something for the community and you would like for us to put it out there for the people to listen to, or to maybe come to your gathering or venue, Inbox me at IslamicIslandRadio@gmail.com so we can put it on there for you, inshallah.
And always remember one thing. Islam is perfect, but the Muslims ain't.
The people are not perfect. I'm raising my hand first. I'm not perfect.
Me too.
I'm not perfect. Alhamdulillah, we want to thank everyone for tuning in tonight. I don't know about my brother Ali, but I am extremely exhausted tonight.
I got a big day tomorrow.
And we have doing football tomorrow?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Gotta get that. Yeah, I'll be there tomorrow.
Alhamdulillah, I'm gonna make it easy for you.
Man, yeah.
Who's that?
One of them.
Chiraq guy?
A quick run to the store in Chicago.
Wow. Is it like that?
That's how it is, man. Look, dude's laid out. This is crazy, man.
Are they taking pictures of it?
There's so many of them getting arrested at photo shoots.
Why?
Because they're carrying real guns. They're not props like at their photo shoots. Like, yo, like that's like an industry standard. Okay, we're doing a photo shoot and you bring that. That's for the Obama. And we at the photo shoot and you pull up with this. I mean,
so if we said anything tonight that is incorrect, false, then inshallah make dua for us and forgive us, inshallah. It's not our intention. Our intention is to bring the truth and nothing but the truth. And if we say something that is correct, that brings you closer to Allah, or gives you some type of better insight on Islam, then verily all the praise is to Allah. And inshallah, we are out of here for tonight. And inshallah, we'll try to bring some more light in this next time. We were pretty much beat down tonight, inshallah. And that's the hard truth. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
My brother has to go home now. That's the hard truth. Assalamu alaikum.
All right, so.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
People want to know about